Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Jazzy, the Video Store Sasquatch here, and we are doing our first Sunday review in a while here. I went and saw 3 movies this weekend, so it's kind of worth it because I did catch 2 of the new movies and the new movie on Netflix. We'll start here with Supergirl, directed by Craig Gillespie, starring Millie Alcock, David Cornsweet, Eve Ridley. Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, joins forces with an unlikely companion on an interstellar journey of vengeance and justice when an unexpected adversary strikes too close to home. This movie, honestly, is really worth to go see. I'm not lying here. I love comic book movies. I love like the whole everything about it, and I was good enough to actually look up what the base story of this movie was beforehand, and I gotta find it on YouTube. It was by a guy named Comic Historian or Comic Historian or something like that. And basically, it is just a story about a girl who had like a family and everything, got shipped away. And then when she gets shipped away, she gets into a marriage. She gets sent to a whole new world with her only like living person that would even be close to her as her cousin. And he kind of already kind of took the Kool-Aid here with the whole human race and everything. So it's not really the same for her as it is him, and they kind of do a very good job of showing that and interpreting that for her as well. The story behind it with her trying to get revenge for her dog is awesome. I think everyone can kind of live with that. Kind of what John Wick was all made about there. Matthias Schoenhartz is really good as the bad guy here, and Jason Momoa pops up. Seth Rogen, a couple other famous people pop up throughout this whole thing. I'd have to give this movie honestly a probably an A minus. Maybe like a couple parts they missed because like me, I always kind of say that kind of superhero movies that aren't kind of into Earth or even more into like helping America and stuff like this because it's just kind of where I'm at and in the world and stuff like that. And just kind of like it seems like Marvel's went away from it a lot. DC, you kind of a separate thing there because their America is kind of different than the real America, but they do kind of separate from that lately. And this is another one of those where we're into a whole other planet. So we're not even talking about Earth here, and she's like going through interstellar travels, which is cool. Like science fiction all the way works for me. It's just that's like the one nitpick I'd have about it. I thought that Millie Alcock was really good in this. She fits the character very well. I think that you could hear from other sources that would say differently, but I think that a lot of people want to come into this movie and just smash it for being woke, and I'm gonna kind of be the one that kind of tells you guys this, and it's for anyone that has to hear it. Just because there's a strong female character in a movie, it does not make the movie woke. I'm sorry, it doesn't. There's so many other factors that would make a movie woke, and we don't really talk about that on this channel because I just think that is like the most easiest cop out for anyone to not like a movie ever. Oh, movie was woke, and then you kind of ask them to explain what was woke about the movie, and they just kind of go on to just random explanations. Like you can't even really pinpoint where they felt like it was the most wokeness. I think that is a cop out for anyone that doesn't really want to watch movies, and it just wants to be someone that divides people, and that is just the way it is. Unfortunately, for a lot of these movies nowadays, if you're going to be popular, you're going to have one side of the spectrum supporting you. You're going to have the other side of the spectrum not supporting you. And when they're not supporting you, they're going to take all their little stupid prejudices, maybe not, and not prejudices in like a bad way, just prejudice. It's just literally the definition of the word prejudices into their movies. And they're going to nitpick the things that they don't like that makes them uncomfortable. And that's what's going to happen to this movie, unfortunately. And then we're going to hear the next big thing that people tell you. And it's just not true about these movies, especially the Superman, Man Tomorrow, the Batman vs. Superman, all those movies. Guess what? They're not bust, people. You don't make $500 million, $750 million, $1 billion on some of these movies and then decide it's a bust because some person into the movie industry that you listened to told you that an advertisement budget for every movie is at least twice or 3 times what the budget is behind the movie. That is a complete, absolute farce. There's absolutely no way that's possible because no movie ever would make money. It's just a way for the studios to screw actors and screw other people and screw themselves and just kind of find ways into these movies. And you see this a lot. Sylvester Stallone won lawsuits. There's other famous actors that won lawsuits talking about movies that didn't make money, but they actually really did make a lot of money. So do not fall into that narrative about this movie. It's going to hit 40 million this week. We've gone through all these movies throughout the years, and like think about all, especially the last couple of weeks where we've gone through these comic book movies. It's not a lot of hit, not a lot of $100 million movies. Week one. What takes time is the 8 week, 6 week schedule, and they get these huge amounts of money, and people lose focus on that. So that's another thing that's going to kind of kill this movie. But if you are just wanting to go see an honest to goodness, actual good comic book movie that stays true to its source material, as well as brings in some tight action with some good visuals, this is the movie you want to go see. And it is the best DCU movie easily since the Gotham Knight. And it's probably the best comic book movie, honestly, since the Avengers Endgame. Maybe Spider-Man. If you want to go, because Endgame and Spider-Man, what was it? No Way Home or whatever was kind of like the same year. So just since that same year, no movie has kind of matched those in quality wise, and this is definitely one of them. I would really suggest going to see it. And it comes into another question I always ask about DC use kind of movie and cinema and stuff like that is what are we doing with these releases here? Why not make this your first movie? Build a whole new character, someone that not a lot of people have seen, even though it has been done. There's a Supergirl movie from the '70s. There's a Supergirl TV show. There was a Supergirl in the new Flash. But at the same time, we're launching a whole new universe here for DC. So why not have this lead it off? Then you get Superman. Then you do a more traditional property with Batman and stuff like this instead of kind of mixing and matching. And we have Clayface later in the year. And then we're going to get Robert Pattinson's Batman and a new Batman that introduced him to the DCU. So it's going to be kind of confusing here for the next couple of years for DCU movies. And that's just one area where Marvel is just dominating them in. And that is just their congruency. All the movies are together, and they're not really straying off here and there. Even with their misses, they're still using that miss as canon and bringing in those characters, even if they're in a smaller capacity later on. So that is my feelings on this movie. There's just so many to unpack. I just want to get all that out there because this is all true. It's all going to happen. I really suggest you go see this movie. It is a top 10 movie of the year, and that is Supergirl, directed by Craig Gillespie. Now, we're going to talk about the Netflix movie. I saw that Saturday, so we're just going to go in the order of what I saw them in. And this is Little Brother, directed by Matt directed by Matt Spicer, starring John Cena, Eric Andre, and Michelle Mahanian. A famous real estate agent's life is disrupted when his eccentric little brother reappears. Christopher Maloney pops up in this, and Sherry Cole pops in this as well. Sherry Cole is the assistant to John Cena that kind of sets this all off. I like John Cena. I don't really want to kill one of his movies. The problem with this movie is it's just like every other movie where it just tries to be edgy and he uses language that should offend and will offend you. But at the same time, when you hear what the actual message of the language is, it's just not that offensive. And it's really just not that funny. And honestly, there are some really good gags in this. And Eric Andre, really funny guy. I'm not going to kill Eric Andre either. But it's not enough for an hour and 45 minutes movie here. Hour 20 movie, maybe max. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's what they should have done. There's a bunch of scenes that they could have cut and moved on from this movie, and it would have been just as funny, and it would have probably felt a little bit better, like timing wise and gap wise and stuff like this. It's not a big deal. It's a Netflix movie. It's another one of those comedies I also watch by myself, which I just don't think that comedy and by yourself congruency really kind of works. You have to be with someone else to kind of enjoy the laughter, I feel like. And I think that's kind of, I know it's dumb. I just think that's where the sitcoms sometimes kind of have it. Because even though it's this canned laughter, the fact that they're laughing kind of makes you want to laugh, and it just kind of works, because you're going to be by yourself. I'm not suggesting that for any movie or suggesting this for any at all. I'm just saying that I think that's why sitcoms kind of did this. And I think that kind of helps. If I was going to release a comedy in today's circumstances, I really wanted to hit theaters. Even if it was going to be a limited release in theaters, just so people would see it in crowds and kind of laugh together. That's just me. But sometimes comedies work on your own, sometimes it doesn't. This is just one of those I just don't feel like it works at all, really. And it just kind of tries hard, and it's just like I said, it just tries to be offensive, but it's really not offensive. And that's just like a real big time for these big sign for these comedies lately. I think we're getting into the more territory where we're not being afraid to be offensive, but at the same time, we just kind of use kid gloves for everything. So, and comedies don't work with kid gloves, and that's just the way it is. And that's Little Brother, directed by Matt Spicer. And I saved the best for the last. No, I didn't. I honestly, Supergirl was the best. That was the first. But Jackass, Best and Last, directed by Jeff Tremaine, starring Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Wee Man, Danger Aaron, Dave. Like I just you can just think of all the people that they be in this movie. And they're in this movie. While the Jackass crew as they perform their final series of dangerous stunts and pranks, marking the end of the franchise. I honestly don't even know how to attempt to review this movie other than go see it. Especially if you're a Jackass fan, it'll just take you back to that time. It'll make you laugh, and it's funny to see what 60-year-old grown men at this point in time hitting each other in the balls and doing all their shit gags that they do and everything. So if that is your thing and you grew up on Jackass, go see it. The one warning I will give you is they have the infamous um, Johnny Knoxville shooting himself. You've seen it before. It's on a documentary and it's on a couple other things. They never happened to show it for Jackass, so they showed it for this. It is the things. We don't really want to see that, I guess. Well, otherwise, I think it's pretty tame, especially for today's standard. And after watching all the Jackass, I think that's why they finally decided to do it because it's like, yeah, I mean, it's bad, but it's really not that terrible. And I don't think people are dumb enough to replicate it, but you never know because there are. They did say a couple of stunts theirs did get removed from TV just because it would have been easy to replicate it, and they didn't want that. So that's the way that is. We got to see a lot of funny stuff. Got all the new people that were added from Jackass Forever into this as well. Bam Margera pops up with a couple of old school stunts because we all know kind of the story there. This is a great movie. I love Jackass. I wish I knew the numbers. I should look up the numbers before this video just to kind of see which one won. I highly doubt that Jackass Best and Last beat Supergirl, but you never know, especially with the kind of climate we're at here and the kind of scores I kind of saw that Supergirl got on Rotten Tomatoes. Which again is not fair because it's just a bunch of dim-witted people kind of judging these movies and then putting it onto there, and they're not using the movie as a real tool. They're using the movie as a political tool, and that's just not fair to any movie. A movie like this that it could have been really it is really good because there are movies that this happens and it's just not good, and then there's reasons why you can explain that it's not good other than what these people are giving for the political side of it. But that's just me. I'm just getting on another rant there. It really does bother me. And that's really the whole reason why I even made this channel. Because I was just tired of hearing about movies being fucking woke. Because it's fucking old, dude. I get over it. We get it. You don't like nothing in life. Figure it out. Like, do something else. Watch World War II documentaries. Do whatever makes you happy. Just stop telling me about how shit is so fucking woke. Because it's just fucking annoying. I'm done with that. That's my last little rant. Hopefully, some of you guys are kind of with me there too, because even no matter what side you are, and I bet you can kind of tell what side I am just because I'm just through these videos and stuff like this. Like maybe I'm not even going to say it out loud, but just kind of judge what side I'm on and then go from there. It's a side of common sense. I don't think there is really a left and right side here. I think that it's just straightforward. What you want to do it. And then I think that's where the problem comes is that one side wants to be right, and the other side wants to be right, and they're just going to constantly fight and hit each other, and it's annoying. And we see it in sports, we see it with movies, we see it with everything. And I did kind of see a couple of videos about some stupid nonsense before I just watched this. It kind of set me off before doing this, but that is the end of this video. Please go watch Jackass, directed by Jeff Tremaine. Please go watch Supergirl. Don't go watch Little Brothers. If you don't want to go watch it, don't go watch it. I mean, it is on Netflix. You don't really got to go anywhere. So you can just kind of sit at home and kind of enjoy an hour and 45-minute movie that should be about an hour and 10 minutes. But that's all on you, man. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a good rest of your day or night. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section. And see you next time in the cave.